Folks, I've noticed something going on over the last couple of days here on Twitter. Not only are people exposing the election irregularities, but they're doing it in real time so it can be handled up in real time. As a matter of fact, Trump got a win yesterday. He sued and immediately got resolution to the fact that they closed down the polls early in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, closed at like 1:45. And so they set it up to where they can now, all these people can get absentee ballots and vote, or come in on election day and vote as well after the early voting is over. They were trying to pull some shenanigans. The judge decided immediately that ain't flying. That was yesterday's breaking news. We got several other wins, though, but before we get into those wins, let me show you what's going on in California. Now, chances are Trump's not going to win California, but they're not even giving him the opportunity to win in a fair, square kind of way. Let me show you what I'm talking about. This is actually pretty crazy, but I do got several good pieces of information for you, including a huge win for Arizona. It says on the voting machines in California, Trump does not even appear on the screen as an option for president. What? You have to click more to be able to vote for him. Have you ever been around an elderly person? Many won't even know how to do that. Now watch. Let me show you here. It says just voted in California. Got dirty looks by the organizer when I asked if I needed to show my ID when you wanted to vote. You had to click an extra button to even select the candidate on the Republican ticket. You had to click the More tab. Now, if you see here, top of the ticket is Kamala and Tim Walz. And they still got Robert F. Kennedy on the ticket. And they got Chase Oliver on the ticket. I don't know who that is. And then there's the Green Party, Jill Stein, on the ticket. Where's Trump and Vance? Oh, well, you got to hit this More button here in order to get the last option, which is Trump Vance. See what they're doing here in California, folks? That is some shitty Dominion machine tactics right there. If I ever seen something. If you're voting in California, make sure you go that extra step to vote for Trump. We'd like to see the real numbers there. Even though they're going to steal California, we'd like to at least know that Trump, what the real Trump numbers are, or at least we'd like to see how it plays out at the least. This is some bullshit. This needs to be addressed. I guess Stephen Miller needs to sue these folks as well. Stephen Miller and Ken Paxton have both been doing great work in the last several weeks trying to shore up our elections. Matter of fact, Stephen Miller got us a win today in Arizona. But first, we'll get into some of the things we're finding out about Pennsylvania. Now, there's no doubt about it. Pennsylvania has got some problems with the election this go around. So the third county in Pennsylvania finds fraudulent mail-in request forms from Field and Media Corp firm. The district attorney and general officer are now investigating. These are allegedly fraudulent, but if they have issues where they're not applicable, then obviously there's some issues. So these concerns continue to grow in Pennsylvania as officials from Monroe County reveal the new findings of these mail-in ballot request forms, making this the third county to uncover such irregularities. Monroe County District Mike Mancuso announced Tuesday that several mail-in applications were submitted wrongly, with at least one case involving a deceased applicant. Investigators trace the source of these unauthorized requests to Lancaster County-based Field Media Corp, a subsidiary of Arizona Field Corp. An investigation when Monroe County's election board conducted a standard review, uncovering around 30 irregular forms, which were then referred to the DA's office, district attorney. The firm has been actively engaging communities in the color in Arizona, Pennsylvania, Nevada, and California. So this group is in several states trying to get out the vote for the Democrat Party. It says, according to its website, Field and Media Corp is a consulting firm involved in strategic field and media operations that include registering voters and campaigning. Okay. It says, political issue campaigns. We have been building and implementing a on-the-ground multi-mode contact program for clients for your large-scale door-to-door program. That's their Get Out the Vote program. Okay. And these are some of their sponsors. Don't like it at all. Biden Harris, of course. Says, we are proud of our work. We help expand access to voting through our nonpartisan voter registration program. Nonpartisan, my ass. That's the truth of the matter. None of these NGOs and none of these voting group organizations are nonpartisan. They are all harvesting for their own team, whether they be Republican or Democrat. We are definitely not just trying to register people willy nilly. We're trying to register people so our candidate can win. No difference than Democrats. Anyway, anything's different is lying. It says the recent influx of election related materials from such an organization has prompted York County to take a meticulous approach to validate the legality of these submissions. Julie Wheeler, York County President Commissioner, has assured the public that election officials are diligently processing these submissions to confirm their legality uh, and accuracy. So this has happened 3 or 4 times now in Pennsylvania, where there has been these dumps, several ballot dumps at one time, and they're turning out to have several issues. And so now we have an full investigation going. It says, meanwhile, the York County District Attorney Office has reiterated its commitment to election integrity, stating it stands ready to conduct criminal investigations should any evidence of illegal activities arise. And I see the people on X are on this like a duck on a June bug. They're not going to tell us nothing happened in this go round after the fact, because it's all being documented at this point. Every single thing that has happened, including the voting machines not being able to pick Donald Trump or having to go to the Moore option to pick Trump and Vance, all this stuff is being not just noted, but it's being documented over here on Twitter as well. It says Trump took to X with this terrifying development. Wow, York County, Pennsylvania received thousands of potentially fraudulent voter registration forms and mail-in applications from a third-party group. This is on top of Lancaster being caught with 2,600 the day before, and forms all written by the same person. Really bad stuff. What is going on in Pennsylvania? Law enforcement must do their job immediately. Now. It says in Lancaster County, we have another 2,500 suspicious applications linked to a large-scale canvassing operations that have been submitted. These canvassers are getting out there and they're getting people's information and doing the thing. You know what I'm talking about. Now, this is just a little more exposure at this point, but hopefully we're going to get some resolution as well. This is breaking Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. Officials have uncovered a major voter registration operation involving thousands of applicants featuring identical handwritten forged signatures and fake addresses. Similar schemes have been identified in other counties across Pennsylvania. Let's see what this lady here's got to say.
Good morning, everyone. District Attorney Heather Adams. On Tuesday afternoon, I was contacted by Krista Miller, who is our Chief Clerk of Elections, regarding potentially fraudulent voter registration applications that had recently been received by her office. At that time, she informed me that the Elections Office received approximately 2,500 applications at or near the deadline for registering to vote. While preparing to process these applications, staff noticed that numerous applications appeared to have the same handwriting, were filled out on the same day with unknown signatures, and some were previously registered voters, excuse me, and the signatures on file did not match the signatures on the application.
Good job.
So before I begin to summarize our preliminary findings, I must remind everyone that this is an ongoing investigation, and for that reason, I will be limited in the details that I can provide. Lancaster County detectives began investigating the voter registration applications and immediately found applications that were indeed fraudulent. Indicators of fraud included inaccuracies with the addresses listed on the applications, false personal identification information, as well as false names. A number of the applications also contained names that did not match the provided Social Security information. In some cases, applications contained correct personal identification information, such as the correct address, correct phone number, date of birth, driver's license number, and social security number. But the individuals listed on the applications informed detectives that they did not request the form, they did not complete the form, and verified that the signature on the form was not theirs.
It's called identity theft, folks.
At this point, it is believed that the fraudulent voter registrations are connected to a large-scale canvassing operations for voter registrations that date back to June. However, the majority of the applications received are dated August 15th and after. Those canvassing for voter registrations were employed and paid to obtain voter registration applications. The majority of the applications were from residents in the city of Lancaster. However,
What's happening is they got these idiots out there being told they're going to get paid X amount of dollars to go find voters. And so they're getting in the mailboxes, they're getting people they know's identification and everything they can in order to make another buck off each one of these ballots. And in turn, it's causing people to do really nefarious things in order to get paid, at the least, if not being assigned to go get it by any means necessary.
applications were also received from residents in Columbia, Elizabethtown, Mountjoy, Akron, Ephrata, Stevens, Strasburg, as well as other locations across Lancaster County. The canvasses themselves took place at various shopping centers, parking lots of grocery stores and businesses, sidewalks, and parks. During this preliminary investigations, detectives were able to verify some of the applications were indeed legitimate. In these instances, the applicant verified that they did provide information to a canvasser. For these applications, we will immediately advise voter registration and that we confirm that they are legitimate requests, and voter registration will process that application. Thus far, of the investigations that we have completed, we have determined that 60% have been fraudulent. That is of the
Dang.
investigations that we've completed. We do have more to do today, and my understanding is that voter registration is still going through the box of 2,500, but should be completed sometime here today. As I said, the investigation is ongoing. We are aware of at least 2 other counties that received similar applications that are currently being investigated. At this point, we have confirmed violation of our crimes code as well as our elections code.
Here it is. Criminality, folks. Y'all know what Trump said about it, don't you, folks? Trump said cheating the election, going to jail. If you vote illegally, you're going to jail. That's what I want to hear. That's what I want to see. And that's what I want to know is the law of the land from this point forward. We got to make an example of these people that cheat. No doubt about it. Now, here's a story coming out of Philadelphia, another Pennsylvania story. It says almost 4,000 flawed ballots have been found in Philadelphia. Election workers held a press conference and urging folks to scan the QR code to make sure that you didn't fill one out. They outlined the steps to take if your name is on the list. All right, now let's listen to this here. Now, this one I haven't listened to at all, so we'll go through it together.
Thank you, Councilmember Isaiah Thomas, for convening us here today and for your leadership on this issue. It's Halloween, but this is no trick. Your vote may be at risk of not being counted. The County Board of Elections has received thousands of flawed ballots. Over 150,000 Philadelphians have already returned their mail-in ballot. If this includes you, I want to thank you for being a voter and for showing up for our communities. But there is one more thing that you have to do. If you voted already, scan this QR code and make sure that you did not accidentally submit a flawed ballot. In fact, every Philadelphian should take a look at this list and search for their family members, friends, and neighbors. Do not let your loved one wake up on November 6th only to realize that their vote could not be counted. If you realize you returned a flawed ballot, don't worry. Everybody makes mistakes, but don't ignore it either. This election will be won or lost by a few thousand votes in our state, and we will be living with the consequences of this election for the rest of our lives. Do
That's
not
right.
wake up on November 6th with regrets. Take action right now to correct your ballot and make sure that your vote is counted. Go to a City of Philadelphia satellite election office ASAP to immediately receive a replacement ballot. Visit phila.gov/voting to find an election office near you. And if all else fails, go to your polling place on election day and cast a provisional ballot. Philly, I know that many of us have election fatigue. I'm getting there too. But we are so close, and we cannot take our eyes off of the prize because those seeking to tear us down certainly will not. Thank you so much.
Wow. I don't know what to think about that whole deal there. People being disenfranchised, people being knocked off the voter rolls, people vote being not counted correctly, or not tabulated correctly, but not decided correctly. I guess maybe by the machines. I don't know what's really going on there. And like I said, every state has different rules, and a lot of states have different rules by county as far as what kind of machines they use, what rules there are, if they're allowed to use provisionals and absentee ballots. Provisionals are horrible because people can walk in and demand the right to vote, whether they're registered or not, and they get to fill out a provisional ballot. Now, if they hadn't registered, in theory, the provisional ballot is becomes null and void. But in some states, you can get a provisional ballot on the spot, fill it out, and it'd be good to go. Like here in Texas, provisional ballot will not help you if you're not a registered voter already. Just a difference of different states. Says huge win. Judge orders Arizona Democrat Secretary of State to release the 218,000 registered voters who did not provide proof of citizenship. All right, here we go. Here we go. This ought to be good. This sounds like a win, folks. This is America First Legal. Stephen Miller, my hero, won big today in a lawsuit against Arizona's Democrat Secretary of State, Adrian Fontes, the cartel lawyer. A Superior Court of Arizona orders Secretary Fontes to release the list of up to 218,000 registered voters who do not provide proof of citizenship as required by law. How are they on the voter rolls with no citizenship? Secretary Fontes must release the list by Monday. Truth of the matter is, they register people at their DMVs there in Arizona, with or without citizenship. It's been going on for a very long time. It was one of the glitches in the system where they didn't actually estimate they were citizens while they were registering them. Come on, man. Fontes previously claimed a computer glitch allowed more than 200,000 people in Arizona to register without proof of citizenship. So America First Legal sued him on behalf of Strong Communities Foundation of Arizona, known as EasyAZ.org, another great uh, voter integrity organization for our team. At the trial, Secretary Fontes testified that his office only possesses a partial list of 98,000 of the 218,000 affected individuals who, because of the Arizona Motor Vehicle Division, has not yet provided him with a complete list. However, the court found that Secretary Fontes provided inconsistent testimony at this point, means he's lying, and that his testimony suggested that he lacked detailed familiarity with the Arizona Secretary of State's effort with regard to the issues and regard to the record of possession of the Arizona Secretary of State related to the 218,000 individuals. The court order required Fontes to produce a list of the 98,000 individuals he has. Said he didn't have them all. Said he got about half. Judge says you got to give up the half. 98,000. He has to give this up along with any other personal identifying information that he has about the 218,000. Reported Stephen Miller from America First Legal. This is great news. Great news. We just won our lawsuit, said Stephen. against the AZSOS for illegally withholding the list of 218 plus registered voters who do not provide proof of citizenship. Wonder how long they've been voting with this lack of citizenship in all these elections since they're obviously on the voter rolls. I mean, 218,000 is a heck of a lot of people to help decide an election in a single state that haven't ever even been credentialed for their citizenship. It's ridiculous, folks. Says he must produce his complete list of these voters by Monday before election day. That's good. That means they can take these people off the voter rolls in theory. Says it is ordered granting that the relief sought in plaintiff verified complaint of statutory special action to secure access to public records as followed. I'm glad these things are happening in real time. Defendant shall release to plaintiff no later than noon on Monday, November 4, 2024, the original list of approximately 98,000 affected voters specifically identified in this Richer versus Fontes. Richer is Stephen Richer. He's what do they call him? Election coordinator for Arizona. Defendant shall release to plaintiff no later than noon on Monday, November 4th. Any other data sets, compilation of information, list of communications from the MVD, which is the Motor Vehicle Department, containing personally identified information about the affected voters ASAP. Says Governor's Office, Arizona Department of Transportation, Motor Vehicle Division, Arizona Department of Health and Services. All this information needs to be given up about these people so we can cross-check and identify and find out if they are actually citizens or not. Give them a chance to vote or to be kicked off the voter roll for not being a citizen. I'm liking it already, folks. It sounds like a plan. It's a little late, but I'm glad they got some resolution in a hurry. And here's a little more of the same story. Because he says the judge in Arizona ruled that the Democrat Secretary of State must immediately release the nearly 100,000 voters who officially marked as U.S. citizens when they hadn't even provided documented proof. Judge Blaney also required to do this by noon on Monday, the eve of the election. He's not playing. That was good timing on his part. The state failed to do its job in verifying the citizen status of well over 200,000 voters on the voter roll, and it's coming back to haunt them. I'm glad to see Easy AZ is fighting for the truth and has helped getting this out with Stephen Miller. Now, this here, I don't know if you've seen this or not. I know we all can't stand Mark Cuban as it is, but Mark Cuban, as many names as we've been called this week, we've been called deplorable, garbage, Nazis. I mean, they're running out of names to call us this week. Well, Mark Cuban, Kamala's brown nose special buddy. I don't know what to call him other than that. He wants to be energy secretary or commerce secretary under Kamala Harris. She done promised him the job. He can help get her elected. But truth be known, Mark Cuban is just another billionaire asshole that has no friends. That's why he's sucking on the Kamala Harris campaign, hoping to get a job, being able to control the future of his China-based businesses. Mark Cuban loves China. I used to think Mr. Wonderful was the asshole on the Shark Tank, but I realized he's probably one of the better of the few. Mark Cuban is the asshole on Shark Tank. He's the one that wants to outsource everybody's business to China. That way he can increase his profits. And that's what this is all about to him. He doesn't like the idea of Trump sanctioning his buddies in China, considering all the business he does with his basketball team, to say the least, and all of his entrepreneurial businesses that, like I said, build it in China over American made. He's greedy like that. Sad to say, but he went a little step further today as to attack not half of MAGA, not some of MAGA, but all of the female women that will vote for Trump.
Donald Trump, you never see him around strong, intelligent women, ever. It's just that simple. Donald Trump, you never see him around strong, intelligent women. ever. It's just that simple.
Well, I'll tell you this, Mark Cuban, you may be a billionaire, but you are not
Donald
too
Trump,
smart.
you never see him around strong, intelligent women.
Well, Sarah Huckabee Sanders had something to say to that. So basically, Mark Cuban is calling, I guess, Trump supporting women idiots. I think my wife would appreciate that too much.
Mark Cuban just said there are no strong, intelligent women around President Trump. It's a disgusting lie. And it's pretty funny coming from Democrats who can't even tell you what a woman is. I worked for President Trump for 2.5 years. Democrats tried to tear me down. President Trump empowered me and every other woman in America. My name is Sarah Sanders, and I'm proud to join the millions of smart, intelligent women who will stand with Donald Trump this Tuesday. Mark Cuban.
That's right. F Mark Cuban, that's what I have to say to that. F Mark Cuban. He needs to keep his billionaire opinion to himself. Don't nobody like him. He's like Bill Gates, another billionaire that thinks the world owes him something and thinks their opinion actually counts for something. You want to do something good, Mark Cuban? Do something good for the people of this country, not your buddies in China. Now, folks, I know you all heard in the last couple of days that a district attorney in Pennsylvania, of course, a Democrat district attorney, Soros appointed DA Krasner, uh, declines to block Elon Musk daily $1 million giveaway. I'm surprised the judge bats down uh, the the whole situation. What it is Elon Musk was giving away $1 million a day all the way up to election day for anybody that was already a registered voter, had voted, and was willing to fill out his petition, which paid like $100, 47 to $100 to just answer some questions like a survey type petition. Well, if you did all of these criteria, threw your name into a daily lottery, and every day for a couple of weeks now, somebody's been winning $1 million. Well, the Democrats thought it was a problem. They were calling it election interference. They thought he was buying votes, but as is, judge blocks it. Judge judge denies to block Elon Musk daily $1 million giveaway, meaning the lawsuit didn't fly. Elon Musk can continue to pass out the money like it's going out of style, and it looks like the lottery is still on. And these lefties ain't stopping no show. This DA Soros DA Krasner didn't work out too well for you. Just another attempt to try to slow down the truth. Ain't working for you. Now, if you didn't know it, Joe Rogan had an interview with JD Vance, and I haven't had a chance to watch all of it. I watched 2 minutes here and there, but one of the things they did talk about was the fact that the whole Trump assassination thing, both of them, seemed super fishy. And JD Vance says, "I hope when we win, we can get to the bottom of this. Meaning Trump gets back in office, we'll be able to put somebody in there to be able to investigate and find out who really put Thomas Crooks up and the other guy. I don't even want to say either one's name, and the other guy up to or facilitated for the either or both of these guys to try to assassinate Trump. And that's what we're going to get to, folks. I believe that's going to happen. But we got to win the White House first. Got one more little clip here for you, folks. This is just a ha ha here at the end. This is how I feel about the Democrats this day and time. There you go. Let's watch it one more time. All righty then, folks. That's all I got for you today. Hope everybody enjoyed. Hopefully it was a little bit informative. There's definitely some shenanigans going on in several states, but it does look like we're starting to get some resolution with court hearings, and maybe some of the shenanigans will be put at bay, or at least exposed on the front side, including the not just the irregularities in Pennsylvania things, but the illegals that are actually going to be allowed to vote and then have to be taken off the voter rolls once all this is contested. Because Supreme Court just ruled yesterday that they were allowed to take voters off the voter rolls if they were not citizens in Virginia. So that sets a precedent as well for the rest of this election. So it's all good news from this point. But be sure, no matter what state you're in, if you're using machines or you're using paper or you're using both, there's any way you can check your ballot, any way you can check what the machine puts in. Like if you're using the machine to make your picks and then it prints out the paper, I would double check. I would make sure that the machine and the paper are the same, coming up with the same results if I were you. And if you see any other irregularities in your state, in your city, in your county, uh, send me a video of it. Uh, Let me know in the comment section. We'll discuss it. We'll get it out there, and we'll expose it like it needs to be done everywhere where this crap is happening. They are cheating. I don't think it's as big as the last time, but more than anything, I know it's being exposed in real time, which will help us with all these court cases, which are inevitably going to be coming down the pipe behind this election. Like, subscribe, and share to Voted Patriots. Everybody have a great day. Over and out.